What's up, everybody? It's John here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in Dead by Daylight, going for the Hemophobia achievement. This one's going to be done from the Survivor side. It's going to be a map-specific achievement done on the Disturbed ward, so keep playing games until you get this map in the rotation. In order to get this achievement, what you have to do is you have to make sure you escape a game on this map without losing a drop of blood, which is going to mean not taking any damage. So what that's going to amount to is pretty much playing an entire game and escaping without ever encountering the killer. So some basic tips. Obviously, you want to make sure you play this with a stealthy approach, and hopefully you have some decent teammates who can carry you through most of this, since you are going to be staying away from the killer. If you do plan on taking any perks into this game, obviously recommend anything that will let you keep tabs on where the killer is at all times. But other than that, in terms of actual strategy, what I recommend doing at the start of the game is heading towards the main building in the center of the map and then heading up to the second floor. Make sure you fix this generator here first. The killer is going to tend to avoid this center generator. The reason for that is it's a little out of the ways from the other generators during an early game patrol, so it's a best first candidate if you are going to go for a game where you do plan on actually contributing to the objective. Then what I recommend doing is trying to run to the outer edge of the map, and then if you do plan on playing the objective, make sure you slowly start picking generators off towards the edge of the map and then working your way around. Obviously, make sure you keep tabs on where the killer is at all times in the background. If you start to hear the terror radius, make sure you get to a safe distance. If you do plan on working on generators, remember, it's okay to abandon a generator halfway through if it means getting you to safety. So just make sure you don't overly play the objective and make sure you leave that up to your teammates. Your goal is to try to keep your head down as much as possible. Once you notice the killer's terror radius approach you, make sure you start to move. As long as you get a pretty early start, you should be able to outrun the killer relatively easily. And once you manage to build up enough distance, make sure you keep your head down. Remember to not run, as you will leave scratch marks once you do get a manageable distance. And just make sure you duck, slide behind the various terrain, and then just make your way back to whatever generator you're working on, and make sure you start working on it little by little. If you find your current area under a lot of heat, what I recommend doing is making sure you cut through the middle building and then make sure you get to the opposite side of the map. That way you get your space back between you and the killer. If you find yourself in the midst of a chase and you happen to spot one of your teammates, don't feel too bad to pass the chase along to them. That way you get the killer off of your back and you can continue to then slow down and then try to sneak your way back to the edge of the map. As long as you're staying on the outside, you should be relatively safe as long as you keep your head down and make sure you don't run when it's not necessary, as you will leave scratch marks and then the killer is able to track you that way. So just make sure you play this super duper careful and super defensively, and hopefully you should be able to tough it out through the early game. Once you get to the late game, hopefully you have enough teammates still around that they can carry you through the rest of the way. In these situations, you want to make sure you stay on the opposite side of the map as them. So as soon as that last generator is fixed, start working your way away from them. The reason for that is they are going to go for one exit gate, and you want to make sure you go to the entirely opposite one. And hopefully the killer goes after them, giving you all the time in the world in order to open up your exit gate, and then hopefully you should be able to do it without any opposition. Once you do so, just make sure you make the slide out, make sure you don't hang around, obviously. You want to make sure you try to go for the escape as soon as it appears, and then if you manage to win this game without taking a hit, you should be good for the achievement. So best of luck to you. Of course, you can also get this in various other circumstances. Either you play with super good teammates, or you play against a killer who isn't doing anything. Nonetheless, once you do manage to make it without being damaged, you should be good for the achievement as soon as you hit the results screen. There it is. This one's going to be for 10 gamer score, and that's all there is to it.